I have news for Harris County. They're not the capital of Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said in a fiery speech last week. The state capital resides in Travis County, in the city of Austin, in this building, not in the county judge or the mayor's office. Harris County does not make policy and create law for the other 253 Texas counties. Patrick was defending Republicans in the legislature, pushing bills that restrict policies that brought record turnout last year, with no evidence of widespread fraud, according to the Secretary of State's and Attorney General's offices, both run by Republicans. Out of thin air, they decided on drive-in voting, Patrick said, as one example of Harris County policies that lie outside the law and must be standardized. But civil rights groups, minorities, the disabled, and even large Texas corporations like American Airlines and Dell are voicing loud opposition to what they call vote suppression. Democratic Representative John Bucy from Austin has a front row seat. He sits in the minority on the House Elections Committee that just passed House Bill 6, a wide-ranging bill of new voting measures.
House Bill 6 is a deeply concerning bill. It was voted out of committee last week. It was voted out on party lines. So the 5 Republicans voted for it. The 4 Democrats stood up for the people of Texas in opposing this bill. It's going to make it a lot harder to vote. So now it's in the process of being moved over to the Calendars Committee. And then from there, the Calendars Committee, if they vote it out, will send it to the House floor. We don't know exactly the timeline on that. It's not fully in the Calendars Committee yet as of today. You've got to do a lot of paperwork with these bills, especially when you have that much testimony. So they'll be sending it over to the Calendars Committee, I anticipate very soon, and then we'll see from there. But it'll probably reach the House floor in the next week or two would be my guess.
Oh, okay. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. And we don't know for sure, but it's going to, session's coming to an end rapidly, so they'll have it soon.
Okay. Right. And of course, the Senate Bill 7's already passed through the Senate. So they're waiting.
Yeah, and
over there.
In many ways, it's even more concerning of a bill. We have not heard it yet. They have referred it to the Committee on Elections in the House. So the chairman could set it any time, with, a few days notice. And, so we'll see when that happens. It has not been set for this week. So I would assume at the earliest would be next week that we would hear it in committee.
Okay. Right. And then, just for my own background, once the House passes its bill and the Senate's passed its bill, is there like a conference committee?
If either side makes a change to the bill, then yes, it would go to conference committee.
Okay. And you're on that elections committee. Are there other bills to watch?
What's really concerning, and I'd have to pull the numbers, but most of these bills, so HB6 and SB7, they've filed little parts of them as standalone bills. So we're really dealing with the bill twice. So you've got the bill in its full omnibus form, and then you've got about 20 sub-bills for each of these that deal with the little parts of the bill. So it's very concerning. I think they're doing that in a way to try to get this, oppressive language through whatever way they can.
Okay. Yeah, it is confusing. It's hard to follow.
And a lot of what's really concerning in these bills is their attempts to criminalize everything. I think their goal in doing this is to make participating in the election process as a voter, as a staffer, as someone that's a volunteer helping with the process. By increasing criminal penalties, what they're doing is they're making it a discouraging service to be a part of this process. So they're trying to intimidate participation in the process from a whole. And that's incredibly concerning to me. House Bill 6 on its face just makes it so much harder for individuals to vote by mail, especially individuals with a disability or where English isn't their first language, by adding lots more that you have to fill out when seeking assistance in voting by mail, and also criminalizing mistakes in filling out that data if you get someone other than a non-immediate family member to help you in that assistance. If you make an honest mistake, your vote will be thrown out, and you could serve jail time. You could be criminalized for making these honest mistakes and filling out your ballot. And when you think about individuals with a disability, think about individuals that are blind or where English isn't the first language. by criminalizing mistakes, we're making it way too hard for individuals that already need that assistance to vote, and we're targeting them with these bills, and so it's really concerning.
Right. I listened to a conference call that was actually a press conference that you did with Move Texas at the end of March, and I was interested in your comments. You said that basically the opposition's not out of the fight, and people need to keep letting their legislators know and keep being heard. And you compared it then to the situation a couple of years ago when there were like fewer numbers in the legislature. I think you must have been referring to SB 9 in 2019. What happened? And what was it?
We ran out the clock. We got enough Republicans. There was about 10 Republicans who were really on the fence about that bill, and because they were being hesitant to commit, it really waffled them, and they ran out of time. And that's why we need to keep that pressure on. We need to let the speaker know. We need to let your elected officials know, especially your Republican elected officials, why this bill is so concerning. Because I feel very confident that we will hold the Democratic caucus against this bill unanimously, but that's only 67 no votes. We've got to get to 76, so we're going to need help. But there have been Republicans show us in the past that they opposed some of these voter suppression bills, and we don't need that many. We need about 9. So we need help, and that's why we're not giving up on the fight. So we're going to be working with those individuals to seek amendments to these bills, to change these bills. But what we really need is constituents that live in a Republican state House district to call your state representative and let them know why you're opposed to House Bill 6.
And how can they find that contact information?
So the Texas Legislature online, Texas House, they all have websites. If you just search Texas Legislature online, you'll be able to find the information for all the elected officials. There's also you could Google who represents me and find information on all your elected officials if you need to look that up first. But those are two great tools. But on Texas Legislature online, you'll be able to find all of our information.
For the People's News, this is John Moeller reporting.